Welcome back everyone to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Call of Duty, the review score, why, what made it come out in this state? Was there reasons behind it? Could we glean anything from it? Should we expect this sort of quality going forward? Should we have reviewed the game in its current state? Is it review worthy considering there are other implications on why it shouldn't have been reviewed? And what does this mean when it is being in my opinion, compared to the likes of Golem and Kong, and people are now saying that Quantum Error is a better game, I think IGN are really stretching. But anyway, we're going to get into all of that in this video. So if you do find this useful, if you do enjoy the video, if you do find the stuff I say in this video useful, informative, or it just brightens your day to see another video from your chaos of the Prime, simply leave a like and a subscribe. We are trying to hit 500 likes in this video. That is the challenge set. We are over 5,500 subs. We are now trying to get to that 6,000 sub goal. So if you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing. I am going to be streaming some Alan Wake 2 over at Twitch today. So if you do want to check that out, be sure to head to twitch.tv/ChaosPrimeZ Gaming. All the links in the description below. If you want to support what I do further, you can join my YouTube membership. It goes a long way in helping me just do what I do, or you can support me through my Patreon. Again, links to that in the description below. If you really like this video, there's also options for super thanks. There are multiple ways that you can support me, be it through free methods of just simply liking the video, subscribing, or if you want to go further. Right, on with the video. So, we are looking at this right now where Sony claims it cannot survive without Call of Duty on PlayStation. Jim Ryan made this declaration a couple of times where he said he doesn't want a deal, he simply wants to block the merger. And this is because the amount of revenue that Call of Duty brings for Sony, the amount of revenue it brings for anyone really, it's just a money printing game, is astronomical. It actually pays for their first party games. Their first party games do not sell enough to make them profitable. Only a few ever do, but the majority do not. And this is where games like Call of Duty come in, where it subsidizes those fees in order to do it. But Jim Ryan was perfectly, can be candidly found to be saying, PlayStation cannot survive without Call of Duty. This would ruin PlayStation. And as we're seeing right now, with the way ABK has gone, as soon as the deal went through, the amount of layoffs that went through Sony, whether it's a coincidence or not, I'll leave that to you. But as soon as the ABK merger went through, a week, 2 weeks, and the Sony layoffs just began flooding through from all their studios. Some even reported Sony completely dismantling them from internally, like Firesprite, just completely ruined. Their PSVR 2 has pretty much gone down the drain. There's like literally nothing out there that's kind of talking about the PSVR 2. They released one first-party game, and that is the Horizons. Sure, they released add-ons like the GT7, but that's an add-on. That's not a separate game. GT7 VR is good, but it's an add-on, just like the Resident Evil 4 add-on will be, and the Resident Evil 8 add-on. They are add-ons, and the Resident Evil ones are third-party, right? But in terms of first-party support, where is it? Where is that first-party support? It is nowhere to be found. And, a little truth bomb, Horizon wasn't even supposed to be Horizon. It was supposed to be a different game entirely, a mountain climbing game, which they actually liked, and then turned that into Horizon. So this wasn't even built ground up as a Horizon game. Very disappointing. So as of right now, as a first-party release, they really have nothing. They've not supported it. Just like the PSP and the PS Vita, it is pretty much dead in the water. I really hope they do support it, but at the moment, Sony is in complete turmoil, and with the way it's going after the ABK merger, it looks like Jim Ryan's comments are really starting to come to fruition. But one thing we can look at is the actual review scores. Now, you've got here young Kiryu saying, should I even act surprised that when IGN finally treats a Call of Duty game harshly, only 3 CODs none being mainline games, have a worse score. Only after Xbox obtains it, hell, they reviewed it worse than Quantum Error. Now, Quantum Error, as we all know, is a colossal mess. Its controls are messy. The actual graphics are pretty dated. I mean, I was comparing it to Half-Life 2 when I was watching the video yesterday on my stream. There's a lot of problems there and a lot of work that the developers can do, and hopefully they can turn it around, right? That is the hope, that they can go back, do some stuff to it and actually turn it around, or at least for the sequel for the game, because it is a trilogy, actually turn around and, do better. Unreal Engine 5 isn't the easiest platform to work with, but to turn around and say that is better than Call of Duty is a bit of a far stretch. Now, this is where my second point comes in, and my second problem. This is comparing the campaign. This isn't comparing the multiplayer, which has 114 weapons, 77 brought in from Modern Warfare 2, and another, 37 brand new weapons brought in for Modern Warfare 3. That is still a staggering amount of weapons. You've got the maps from Modern Warfare 2 being reprised, remastered, and you've got a bunch of new maps for Modern Warfare 3. You've also got the Zombies mode, which has been updated for this game, and you've also got, sorry I hit the mic, and you've also got the actual multiplayer aspect of the game, which has had improved gameplay, character control, and other stuff around it. None of this is being reviewed because it's not available. So they've technically reviewed a quarter, or I should say a third of the game, and are plastering it out there like a win they've got over Xbox. And honestly, I think that's wrong. I don't think anyone should be reviewing the campaign. I mean, I don't think anyone should be reviewing Call of Duty. They should probably talk about it. And from what I'm hearing, they have just taken the Warzone maps and refactored them and made into a campaign. But I think there's a reason for why ABK done that as well. And even if the campaign is deserving of that 4 out of 10, there should be a caveat there. I know it says campaign review, but no one is ever going to look at that, right? Everyone's going to look at Modern Warfare scored this. They're not going to go back and review Call of Duty Modern Warfare once Zombies is out, once the multiplayer is out, actually review it for what it is. Because people buy Call of Duty for the multiplayer. But they're not going to go back. They're going to stick this on their mantelpiece like it's some kind of achievement that they've given it a 4 after Microsoft has merged with ABK. And the fact is, Microsoft had nothing to do with this game. Nothing at all. This was finished before Microsoft even closed the deal. So how can Microsoft be held responsible for this? Yet everyone is blaming Microsoft for this. You can see here, though, of course, despite all those people laughing and commenting and, making fun of Call of Duty getting 4 out of 10 like IGN, it is still the #1 seller on PlayStation. And it will. It will print money like there is no tomorrow. Because that is what Call of Duty does. It prints money. And it will be #1 on Xbox. It's going to be #1 on PlayStation like it has been for numerous years, outselling every PlayStation first party. And it's going to be quite ironic that the best-selling game on PlayStation will be a first-party Microsoft game. So that's quite funny that despite the 4 out of 10, all those PlayStation fans are still buying a 4 out of 10 game and feeding that money straight to MSHQ. Now you've got Paul Tassi here saying Modern Warfare 3's campaign is a serious low point and Microsoft should take notice. I mean, yes and no. That's not what's... He is wrong. Paul Tassi usually makes bad takes, but this one is extremely bad, right? Because let's look at it. Sony had contractual obligations for a number of games to release before the marketing deal is over. So they had one more game that needed to come out within the year 2023 to 2024. As a yearly release, that was the set duration, right? Because it's a yearly release, so 1 a year, their basic time with Call of Duty as a marketing exclusive would end in 2024 based on that 1 year deal. Because right now you can see Sony is advertising their Modern Warfare bundles and selling those bundles, making Microsoft a hell of a lot of money. But they are doing that. As of next year, they can't do that. 2024, because this is the final game, will be the end of that. Now, in my honest opinion, this was supposed to be released as a DLC. There's no doubt in my mind that it was. But in order to combat the fact that they wanted to close off the Sony deal, they turned this DLC, shamelessly, into a full release. And so what's happening here is that Sony is getting lowballed, ripped off, conned, and their players are still lapping it up and buying it. And no amount of praise, pandering and fanboying from IGN is going to change that. As we saw, it is still the #1 seller on PlayStation, and it will be. But now where they're trying to throw the blame onto Microsoft, it's not it. And look, you got Arnie here saying, considering it's a whole point of existence is basically an online FPS money generator, you can see where priorities went in that regard. All of it went to the multiplayer. It isn't a big deal anymore. It isn't a big deal, and more importantly, Microsoft just acquired them too, so this isn't a Microsoft issue. Now, there was another comment here. Seems like a DLC turned into a full game to get Activision out of Sony deal ASAP. Time to let Treyarch cook. That is exactly what is happening here. That is it. This was turned from a DLC into a main release in order to get them out of the Sony deal. And the best part is, it's selling like hotcakes because most people care about the multiplayer. Sure, there are those that do care about the campaign, but if we're looking on a percentage scale, I would say it's somewhere around 90 to 95% that care for the multiplayer, and about 5 to 10% that care for the single player. You can see where the priorities lie, and that's where they focused it to make sure the game is actually able to stand on its legs. If you notice that none of these reviews even mention that they're going to go back and re-review it once the game comes out so they can add their points for the multiplayer, for the zombies, or anything like that, all they care about is shitting on Xbox because that is what they live for. Eurogamer, IGN, Metro, PC Gamer, they are all the same. They are all doing it. Not one of them has any credibility to actually turn around and actually speak the truth. You've even got the PlayStation fanboys that are, look at this one. Phil Spencer, after spending 2 years in court for a 2-hour campaign, but those PlayStation fanboys are buying it like there's no tomorrow, right? They are buying that 2-hour campaign and waiting for the game to release so they can jump into the multiplayer. After all, the campaign is just a kind of intro to the main, buffet of the game, which is the multiplayer. With PS gamers buying the game in the millions, I'd think he would be laughing more at all the increased revenue. All they're doing is insulting themselves because this marketing deal cost Sony money. This game was their final hurrah as a marketing exclusive. And now Sony has funded this game as their final game for their marketing rights. You watch how the one that's going to come out next year is going to be 1,000,000 times better with a much grander campaign and a much better game. And as you can see here, this is why they spent the money, because it's the best-selling game every year. It's actually outselling Spider-Man. Let that sink in. The multiplayer isn't even out yet, and it's outsold Spider-Man. It's crazy. LMAO, the game is #1 seller on PlayStation Store. That's Jim Ryan and the rest of the crew after spending millions for a 10-year deal of this and forcing layoffs and cancellations. That's another thing, right? You can see, Jim Ryan spent $3 billion just to fire everyone. Don't forget, Jim Ryan also paid money to have this game. Look at it this way. They spent money for the marketing deal to get this version of the game as the final game on their platform, and then they spent more money on a 10-year deal to get this version as the first game on their platform. Who's actually losing out here? Microsoft or Sony? All Microsoft is doing is saying, hey, that game is #1 on your platform, give me that money. Call of Duty will still sell regardless. And I think this one here pretty much sums up the idiocy of PS fanboys. No matter how much you cap, you're listening, Xbox fans, because I'm talking to you, right? I'm talking to you Xbox fans. Call of Duty is greater than every Xbox-owned franchise combined. Yeah, I said it. I think someone really needs to tell him that Call of Duty is now an Xbox franchise, and an Xbox franchise can't be better than an Xbox franchise. I think so does this mean, like, as Arius here is saying, Xbox is better than itself? I'm confused. Is he now saying that an Xbox game is better than an Xbox game? Is he saying that? You tell me. I mean, this is the levels of stupidity that they have succumbed to. But it gets worse. It gets worse. The PlayStation fanboy mentality stupidity actually gets worse. And here we go, folks. Here we go. Right. I actually posted this. Ponies are so butthurt over COD that they review bombed the wrong game. I mean, you didn't see Xbox fans review bombing Spider-Man, right? They were actually classy. They were actually on it. You got the few that did. But you did not see what you're seeing here. They're actually so freaking dumb, right? They are so stupid that they actually went and review bombed the wrong game. They review bombed the 2011 game. Like, how dumb can you get? This is how mentally stupid, low IQ these idiots are. November the 2nd. Like, how stupid is Jules right now? He can take it off all he wants. It's there. Pavlua, November the 2nd. October the 20th. Like, how dumb are these people? How stupid are these people? You cannot be this dumb. You literally cannot be this dumb. I'm sorry, but to be this stupid, I think Pony should be permanent. I mean, it's just so stupid. Literally, like they were like fathoming. All right, we have to go and review bomb this game now because we have to. And the first thing they did was go and review bomb the wrong game. Like, how stupid are these people? Can you imagine review bombing the wrong game? Oh my god. I mean, there is dumb, and then there is dumb, right? Alright, so moving ahead a little bit, I wanted to end on a positive note. So it looks like Baldur's Gate 3 is arriving December the 6th for Xbox Series X. Larian Studios has confirmed it's coming for the X and the Series S. Now, what does this mean? So you know how all those ponies out there were talking about our Baldur's Gate PlayStation 5 exclusive Game of the Year? Well, apparently Game of the Year awards are December the 7th. So, oh, nothing. Oh, okay. Oh, they've got Quantum Error. Okay. Okay, folks. They have Quantum Error as Game of the Year, as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. They got this. They have got this. I think they'll win it. I think they'll absolutely win it. And right, that's it. That's it, folks. I wanted to end with this because this was dumb. This was real dumb. This was so dumb that I feel dumber just reading it. I feel dumber just trying to entertain it. But yeah, I think right now they're relying on Quantum Error to win their Game of the Year. I think that is where they are going. That is what they're going to rely on, and that is what they're banking on. Quantum Error to go up to the likes of, Final Fantasy 16, Starfield, Zelda, Baldur's Gate, Alan Wake. Man, I really believe that they've got a really good chance here. I do. You let me know what you think, folks. Don't forget, we'll be streaming later today with some more Alan Wake 2 over at twitch.tv/ChaosPrimeZ Gaming. And yeah, the challenge of 500 likes. Let's see if we can smash it. And I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Remain legend.